welcome to my mini reaction review discussion video on Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish's newest album release. I'm a little late to the party with this one, but better late than never, and I really enjoyed listening to this record. I feel like Billie's in a totally different lane now. She feels a lot more free on this record, and there are some real highlights. If we go straight into track one, Getting Older, this one has an almost 40s vibe for me. There are some lovely chord changes in it. It has a Game Boy sound sensation kind of feel. Some of the lyrics that I really felt stood out to me were things like "Can't shake the feeling that I'm bad at healing." You know, that struck home. I resonated with that. And there's this pulsating feel throughout this song. The reverbs are gorgeous. There's one at 1 minute 42 that I'll show you that just moves the song into a totally different feel. And I think it's just showcasing her great breath control. And then we go back to these dry, intimate vocals at the end of this song. So it goes through this whole story in itself, and it's really enjoyable. All these pulsating things. Very dry and 40s-ish feeling to me. And all the reverb here is so different to when we get back into our outro dry vocal. And then we go into I Didn't Change My Number. Now let me tell you, when that played out, when I was listening to this, my dog ran up to the speakers and was like, "What? Who is that? What is this?" Looked at me like, Mum, help." So whatever that sound is, dogs, monsters, dog monsters, it did the trick, I think. It definitely spoke to my dog, so that's something. This is chock full of Billie Eilish note bends, classic Billie vocals, I think, in that respect. And the production is simple, but it touches nicely upon our higher frequencies. It's full of attitude, not just in the vocal, but in the rhythm of the synths. And I just feel like the vocal at 1:43 when she says, "and your best friend too," is so unique. Some of the synth choices are uncomfortable, I think on purpose, but it's just layered and trippy, and we should listen to that vocal. That note bend and that "and your best friend too." I just think that Billie's being a bit more comfortable on this record in terms of being more expressive. When we go into Billie Bossa Nova, love that title, by the way. This just is so directly bossa nova influenced style-wise with the guitar and the percussion, but I feel like it's one of those songs that just takes you by surprise, where you've come from a scary monster into this. It takes you by surprise, and I love that. And one of the lyrics that stood out for me on this was, "A lot can change in 20 seconds. Such a simple thing to say, but it's so true, and it just stopped me in my tracks and made me think about it. And then you better lock your phone and look at me a little more. Suddenly, this lyric takes you back into the present where the music takes you elsewhere. The clicks. It's hard to stop me in your arms. Such a lovely little run. And those high frequencies, gorgeous. Billie's vocal sounds stunning on this song. Moving into my future, one of my favourite songs that really grew on me from Billie. I love the heavy reverb, the kind of rainy day vibes of this song. The lower harmony on our pre-chorus, the descent in the chords is stunning. There's just this jazzy nature that actually makes sense within the context of the rest of the record now. When I first heard this song, I thought, oh, how does this fit in with the album that she's producing? But actually it does. There's quite a few jazzy vocals on this record. And the drums and the guitar in the latter part of this song feel so unexpected that it just shows you how any melody can be changed by an arrangement. Yeah, and lovely reverbs as well. So let's just have a little listen. Heavy bass. Totally different song. I love that. So soft, so bluesy, gorgeous. So then we have Oxytocin, which I think is one of my favourites on this record. Could definitely be a single, unless it has already been a single. I don't know. I'm late to the party on most things these days. So this one's quite hard hitting. It highlights the vocal and allows a kind of breathier sultriness. I think that it's almost melody less in parts, if that makes sense. There's a focus on the kind of rumbling of the vocal. It rumbles along. And then there's an aspirate vocal, a scream cry vocal. This is like a new Billie. The relentless synths are kind of trippy, which I think makes sense with the title. And I feel like the video for this should be in a club, a vampire club, something like that. It's kind of shimmery, but it's also hard to listen to. Everything's kind of rumbling on. That delay. Woo! Oh, get me some strobe lights. Stat. Okay, and then we have Goldwing in capitals. Do not forget the capitals. So Goldwing is another softer entry. So we've had this kind of hard entry song, soft entry song, hard entry song, soft entry song that seems to be a vibe with this record up until this point, although it breaks away from that pattern. This one, I feel like we're just transported into this cathedral choral arrangement. There's a heavy reverb, the diction's quite carefully done. There's a lovely melody. It showcases Billie's vocal again super differently. It just shows how versatile she is. And I feel like there's this just unexpectedness when the drums come in, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Another gravelly vocal, this one note vibe. The effects when the vocals drop off near the end are great. I feel like this could be another single. Personally, I'm in a cathedral. And then I'm not. But that sample vocal is so cool, isn't it? That dun, dun, da, 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 da. That is super cool. Such a great layer. Moving into A Lost Cause. Track number 7, which has more of a live vibe, I feel. The delays are great. I like the dry feel of this. The lower harmony is a nice touch on some of the select vocals. And there's more vocal agility displayed in this track, which I think is cool. Interesting breath decisions in verse 2, like a super random placement. I'm always talking about breath placement and where vocal breaths should be thought about within a musical phrase and where it makes sense. So I always pick up on things like that. But there's this lovely halftime feel in our final chorus. And I really kind of wish that at the end of this song, she'd proper gone for it. Like, I know she can, but there you go. We always are left wanting more sometimes with Billie. Always, sometimes. Well, you know what I mean. You ran the show and left them. And that bass, doo-doo, jazzy again. That was way before I realized. There's that vocal agility. And here, like, sing it, Billie. You got no job. Okay, moving on to Halley's Comet. Why did I think it was Halley's Comet? Halley's Comet. This whole time I thought it was Halley's Comet. Well, there we go. The warm piano intro is very nice in this one. It almost feels like show tune chords. Do you know what I mean? Like we're at the musical theatre place. The theatre. And Billie's vibrato is really on display in this song, which I think is nice. And the lyrics are quite conversational. Silly me to fall in love with you, things like that. Midnight for me is 3 a.m. That stood out to me, the lyric. I really like that. The drums are so soft you almost don't need them on this song, I feel. The guitar makes me think of Elvis, and I wish it had kind of been made more of a thing within the song. And there are some lovely note bend piano moments, distortion. It's almost like a dream space, which Billie's vocal follows, heavily affected. You've been in quite a few. Sleepless nights are better. I do like the drums though. Super dreamy. It's like the song was a lullaby, and now we're actually asleep and in that dreamlike space. Very clever production. So moving into Not My Responsibility. I love the bend into this. It feels like actually it could be on Coldplay's new record in a way. This feels like Billie's evolving song. She's laying it bare, she's hyper aware. The change in synths that I feel you watching is almost uncomfortable. I feel like she's uncomfortable with people trying to make her feel like she's something she's not.
But I feel you watching.
Feel you watching.
The body I was born with.
The body I was born with. That drone underneath.
If I wear less.
Yeah, it's a really interesting midpoint to this record. Moving into Overheated. So this is back to our sample drums, using the same bendy synths from the previous track to further explore the same kind of lyrical subject, but in a song kind of format now. I like the male layering vocally on the chorus and the grittiness of it. I think by this she means she's hyper aware and it's making her overheat. I don't know, sweat. Am I being too literal? I don't know. But she's like a force of nature on this track. I think it's Phineas's production, like just everything feels pushed forward. It's great. The space between the phrases as well. That kick drum. Ooh. Very good. The title of the next one. Everybody Dies. Yeah. So, the vocals here aren't perfect, but that's nice. I think that shows a raw side of her. And we also hear a lot of her breath intakes and phrases, and I think that's on purpose to feel intimate as well with us. She's not holding anything back, and there's something about the lyrical content of this song that really spoke to me as well. Maybe it's just how I'm feeling right now, but yeah, I thought it was a beautifully done song. It has a lovely pulsating trance synth in it. I'm a big trance music fan, so I like that. And yeah, her lyric, I sure have a knack for seeing life more like a child. I thought that was lovely. Her vocal at 2:47, which we'll have a look at in a second, is my favourite. And then the subsequent vocal run into reverb. And maybe in 100 years they'll find another way. It's so interesting, this song. Makes you think. The descent in the bass there is lovely. Oh, that's my favourite vocal. And the way it falls down there with that effect on it, really gorgeous. So then we go into Your Power. Your power. So the reverb here is great. I like how our guitar introduces our hook straight away, and the strings are my favourite part of this. I kind of wish they were higher in the mix because the instrumental of this is stunning. I mean, listen to the instrumental alone without the vocal as well as the song, because it is stunning. I just want to hear those strings like, whew. Is that just me? And there you hear that vocal with the guitar, just the melodies matching. It's lovely. Okay, then we go into NDA. So this is super dry, very in your face. The vocals are layered so interestingly. Some spoken, some are sung. So that's interesting because quite often with layered vocals, if it's a double tracking, it will be perfectly the same so that you get this impact. But this is a different kind of impact. This is imperfect impact. That's a mouthful to say. So everything feels very detached until we reach our chorus, which is epic. I love the distortion and the Halloween kind of darkness of it. The lyric that stood out to me and that really hit me hard was, maybe I should think about a new career. So it just shows you how things are hitting Billie in a different way at the moment, I feel. The chorus flows interestingly, but for me, this is Phineas's highlight production-wise. And then Billie's dynamic build at the end is another highlight. So I like this one. Halloween. Can you hear that? Where it's like sort of 30 on the 30. Everything together, really cool layers. Oh, so good. So good. Then we move into Therefore I Am. This one has Halloween vibes again. I could hear this as a sync for a movie or TV show. Again, the double vocals are not perfectly delivered in sync. That's a theme throughout this record. And it's very upfront lyrically. I feel like some of it is hard to relate to because of how specific it is to Billie. But she's being herself on this record, so we can't hate her for that. It's just that this one is more one that I listen to and I think I can enjoy this song, but I can't relate to it so much. Is that just me? I'd love to know. That's what I feel like it could have, some breaths. Woo, the bass. So those are those vocal layers. Again, I think that's a big thing within this record, the developing vocal layers. And then we move into Happier Than Ever. So this to me is heading back to our more 40s, 50s soundscapes. And I think it highlights Billie's vocal differently. Actually, she's very versatile. And I think we've reached the kind of tip of the iceberg with her vocal. And I hope she continues to explore what she can do on future records. The whistle coming in alongside her melody is quite unique. And this feels like a song of two halves where suddenly we're present with a shallow reverb. And it's quite confronting from a soft delivery to an exasperated one. So this rock vibe is so cool. We need more of this from Billie. And it's so big with the choral vocals at the end. And this is the one that's going to be super, super big live. And it feels like a necessary release of emotion. Those note bends again. Very gentle, very delicate. And then this! Where does this come from? More of this. The delays. Woo! That distortion, that guitar. That is incredible. And then it's our final song, Male Fantasy, which I think is a beautiful end to the record. Layered vocals and harmonies. It feels like a sort of very introspective song, especially after our previous one. The dynamic push in the chorus is great. It's almost like her Joni Mitchell moment or something. There's a vocal rise at 240 we'll have a look at. That's really lovely. All the harmonies, all the expression. And the lyric where she says, I know I should, but I could never hate you, shows so much colour and beauty just in that one vocal than anything I've heard from Billie before, that it's worth listening to this song and to this record just for this one moment. That is stunning, is it not? There we go. It's like she's just arrived and it's right at the very end of the record. So there we go. I think that's a fantastic second album from Billie. What do you think? Let me know what your favourite songs are in the comments box down below. And as always, you can hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nina_Schofield, and find links to all my various services in the description box down below. And I'll see you again very soon. Love you. Bye.